Let's go. Well, Chanel,
Got it.
I'm happy to have you here today for the official
I'm
Black
happy to be here.
coverage on Wicked City. And I'm not gonna lie, Sherise, look, your character got all this power. She has one of the best powers. And why does she just feel like she still has to prove herself?
Y'all got to go ask her. I don't know. I have no idea. You know what it is? I kind of think that she was maybe a little bit power hungry.
Yeah.
Let's be a little bit honest. So that's what I think. I think she was being a tad bit selfish, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You know what? I'll say this, and I want to get more into you as an actress and your journey. But I think it's like this because you guys remind me of like the Black version of Charm that's real, right? Like you see Black
Right.
women doing their thing, and even in that show, one of the sisters who had the power of premonition, Phoebe, was played by Alyssa Milano. She was always
Right.
very jealous because she didn't have the active power, and I think that's the problem with Sherise is that her power, though she can like make you do what she wants, it's not as glamorous as if I could move things. You got one with electricity, you got one with death magic,
Right.
you got the other one with the plants and everything. And you're just like, okay, I'm telling somebody what to do, which is great, but
But
it's not an active like I can fight somebody with it.
right.
So, so that's
That's good. Good. All right. I
that
love that you were tapped in like that. Yes.
did. So, but let me know. I fell in love with you on there because you are straight East Coast. New York, Bronx, you everything about it. I was like, I don't know if she's from the Bronx or if she's Southside Jamaica, Queens. What's going on? Because I hear this accent going on.
Yes, I'm from the Bronx, but I did go to school. I went to St. John's University, so I was in Southside Jamaica, for a few years.
Nice. So tell me about yourself. Where you're from. How'd you get your start? Until we got to this point right now.
Oh, so basically, long story short, well, I'm from the Bronx, as you guys can hear. Born and raised, I'm the Bronx Bombshell. My journey with acting pretty much started like in middle school. I always, enjoyed performing. I couldn't play sports. It's funny because both of my parents are like triathletes.
Oh
But
wow.
if you throw a ball at me, I'll be like, oh God, like I can't. I wasn't athletic at all. It's crazy. But, I was into performing arts and my parents, they cultivated it. We did it all the way up until high school. And then when we got to college, it was like, okay, you have to pick a trade. we,
Was
we,
cute.
we're
That was
not,
real
it,
cute.
that was cute. Them little recitals were nice, but you have to like do something. So, when I came to me going to St. John's, I had to like, okay, what do I think I want to do with my life? And one thing I can say is like, I always wanted to work in show business.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, let me go into public relations. So I got my degree in public relations. I was a publicist child for about like 10 years. I worked in production.
Wow.
I was like a PA, like that's all I did after college. And I loved it. However, I didn't really like the position I was in.
Yeah.
I like the environment. I like doing this, but I don't want to be this. So it was really one of my last big positions. I worked for an entertainment law firm.
Oh, nice.
And one of the partners, Andre, one of the only black partner, he actually came up to me and he was like, yo, you should really go into acting school. And I was like, what do you mean, Andre? He was like, yeah, he's like, I know you don't like working in the front desk. Like, you should do something. So like the partners all kind of came together. They wrote my recommendations. They helped me get into Stella Adler.
Oh, nice.
And, everything was good. I went to acting school. I hit a little bit of a bump in the road. A few months before graduation, um, in 2018, I got COVID.
Oh, wow.
Before it was a thing,
Yeah.
but I
So they
got
didn't
but
even
I
know
got
how to really diagnose and really how to like help you through that.
they didn't know anything. It was just that she has a lung infection. Something's wrong. My lungs collapsed,
Oh, wow.
and I was in a coma for 2 months. So that's why I didn't get the opportunity to graduate. But when I woke up, like the first thing I remember thinking about was like the first thing I recited in my head was the monologue from Macbeth because I was studying that before I got sick.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh wow, I'm in the hospital. And then everything kind of to like come together, like, okay, you got sick, Chanel, you're not in school. And then, I woke up from that coma. It was December 1st, December 25th. Between December 1st and December 25th, I went through rehab, had to learn how to walk again, all of that stuff. By December 25th, I was out of the hospital.
Wow.
The next year, I was like, okay, God, me and Jesus had to have a conversation. Do you still want me to do this, God, or were you leading me somewhere else? And, I went on a little audition. And I was like, you know what? If I can't get this student film, maybe this isn't meant for me.
Mhm.
And I absolutely got that student film.
Nice.
And the rest is history. I've been a working actor since, by the grace of God.
Nice. With that being, since you're so spiritually inclined, if you didn't get that role in the student film, do you think you would have really just said, you know what, back to corporate?
Yeah, because I'm very much guided by faith. So
Nice.
I'm a person that's, you know what, God, you lay out the plan for what you want, and you don't make no mistakes. And if this is not where you want me to be, I'll go back to I'll go back to corporate. I absolutely got that audition. Like
Nice.
to the point where the writer, like the student writer, she called me back and she was like, "Oh, you were amazing." I was like, "For real?" Like I'm still kind of sick a little bit, but okay, great, thank you, And after that, that kind of like gave me that confidence to go back at it.
Nice. Where does that confidence come from for you, that strength, especially after, you're starting over? You had several different road bumps. You started over, then you get COVID, lungs collapse, coma, then you give it up, and now you're like, I'm putting my faith that God, that even in the hands of a student film, you know what I mean? Because some people
Mhm.
after a certain like time on this earth, we're just like, I need to be able to do this, you know what I mean? Because you
Right.
really said it doesn't matter what this is. God's going to use this opportunity to show that I can do anything. And said, some people are like, it's a student film. If I don't get it, I wouldn't care. But you took this opportunity to go, doesn't matter, big or small. This is God's moment to let me know if I.
Right.
Wow. So
And
that's
that's exactly what it was.
dang, that's crazy. When going through all of this, what was it the driver that kept you going, especially, starting over, quitting a career that you might not have felt like inclined to, but that paid the bills, you know what I mean? And then
Right.
going to school and then you don't graduate because of this, and then you're just like keep starting over a couple times.
If I have my thing is that there was like a feeling on my heart that every time I was like, you know what, I kind of want to give this up. I'm not going to go to this audition. I felt bad. Like there was a feeling in my stomach that was like, keep going. And I don't think that feeling was a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a mistake that the first thing I thought about when I woke up was Macbeth. I've been asleep for 2 months, and you think about how now, what news? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like God put that on my heart. Every time I wanted to give up, it was like I started to see my favorite show. Like that's another thing. When I was in the hospital, it was during the Christmas season, and they kept playing This Christmas on VH1. They kept playing it. They kept playing it, and I was like, God, I would really love to work with each and every actor in that movie.
Yeah.
And literally between then and now, I was in The Heart of They Fall, so I got an opportunity to work with Idris Elba and Regina King and Delroy Lindo, and with Wicked City, we just worked with Columbus Short.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like God was putting these things in me for a reason. God doesn't make any mistakes. He don't play about me.
Nice. I love that. God didn't play about her. That's the headlines. God didn't play about her life. Oh man, that's amazing. Speaking of, in between all those things, you've been in all these things, right? And then you get to Wicked City. Now, take me to the moment that the sides came to you or you heard about the project. What was it that drew you even into being like, oh, I need to be on this? Some people have those like shows, you're like, I need this role.
When we first heard about Wicked City. So when I got this email, I got the email from Tressa. And at first I thought it was a joke. I thought, when you get those emails from that Nigerian prince and he needs your social, I thought it was a joke. I'm like,
Yeah.
Tressa Smallwood doesn't know who I am. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I'm reading, I'm like, oh,
Oh, this
oh,
hurts.
this email has, this is her. She knows me. Oh, there's links in the email. So when she gave me the synopsis of it, I was like, "This is amazing." Because growing up, I was always so into Charmed. I was into That's So Raven. I like those type of shows.
Yeah.
We didn't have too many of them, but I like those type of shows. So when I saw it, I was like, "All right, this sounds kind of cool." So okay, said yes. Send me the sides. And when they sent me the sides, and I was reading, and I was like, "Oh, this is sassy. This is like girlfriends. This is kind of like living single. Like it's drama going on." They just also have powers.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to be a part of this. I have to be a part of this movement. There's already, in my opinion, a Black girl movement going on right now in Hollywood. that I think is amazing. I love that's happening. But it was like, oh wow, there's also a little bit of a sci-fi movement that's happening amongst, Black Hollywood. I want to
Mhm.
be a part of that. And also, how I am with like spirituality and everything coming together. My first time ever touching a stage, I was in high school and I did a production of The Wiz.
Oh wow.
And I played the Good Witch of the North as Pearl or Miss One.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, look, my first time ever being on stage, I was a witch. And now my first time being a series regular, I'm a witch again. Look at God.
It's all full circle. I love
You
that.
see it? You
Yeah,
see
no,
it, right?
I see that. No, and I love that you pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, and I think that just is another testament to your spirituality and your belief in your faith. Because it's like I have to connect these dots. Because if I don't connect it, I don't really see the grander picture. And seeing that grander picture lets you know if you're on the right path. Because it could be in a different role, and you're like, you know what? I'm not really seeing this grander picture. And but you could keep on going. You know, you see people that be like,
Yes.
I'm successful, but I don't feel whole. And it's usually because though you have the
It,
opportunities and you took it, it still wasn't. Sometimes the universe goes, that was a test. You're supposed to say no, but
no,
you know,
but you did right. See, we gotta listen to spirit. Gotta listen to spirit.
nice. And with this show, what do you how were so is Sherise a little bit of Chanel or is Chanel a little bit of Sherise or is it
Um, I think I think that Sherise has no other way around. I think that Chanel Mack has a little bit of Sherise in her.
yeah.
Only a little bit because Sherise is a bit, but that art of seduction, that siren that Sherise is, you know, she lives a little bit in Chanel Mack because sometimes, we don't have real powers, but we do have powers.
Yeah.
And often, I'll admit I'm a Libra. Oftentimes I can get what I want just verbally. So there's a little bit of Sherise in Chanel Mack. I will say that.
Nice. When you get into character, right? When you have to empathize with this person, what about it makes you feel so empathetic for her that you can be believable as her? You know, like what about everything, even the good and the bad about her?
Because Sherise, in my opinion, represents girls that I grew up with. She represents my sister. She represents girls from around the way that have made a way for themselves doing something that isn't, popular,
Yeah.
something that everybody else probably isn't too proud of, but they're still doing their thing and they're still confident in what they do. So I know those women. So
Yeah.
I had to kind of like tap into my sister, tap into girls from around the way and feel like, you know what, they have their pride, but sometimes they know when they do wrong as well.
Mhm.
So kind of being able, being blessed enough to grow up with beautiful women like that kind of helped me tap into making Sherise.
Nice. How was it working on a show with the special effects? How do you like get into it? Because we see it after, right? We see your eyes
Right.
glowing and whatnot. Is it like sometimes like freaky to see those things that take place, even though you didn't see it?
You know what? No, it's not because all of us had like big imaginations anyway. So we were just, it was like being a kid in a candy store. Like we were allowed to play. There were a few, like we did have like a pyrotechnics guy there that kind of like did little things on set for us, but it was fun playing pretend.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
when we saw the final, like, thing, it's like, oh, okay. So they kind of had the same vision that we had in our head. Okay, good. But it
Nice.
was fun. It was never weird.
Perfect. Being on this show where everybody's black, right? And you don't see that sometimes because some shows, sometimes you see they always like to, not saying you can't diversify the cast, but everything's black from start to finish. You don't see
Mm-hmm.
that. Why do you think that's so powerful sometimes? Even though some people don't like us to say that, they're like, don't, you know what I
I don't
mean?
care what they like. It is so powerful. It was so good. And just so you guys know, even the people in our crew were black.
Yeah.
Everybody on set was black. It was beautiful seeing that. It was. We also had black girls behind the camera. Like it was so empowering.
Yeah.
It was good. Everybody was black, all the way up to our executives are black. Like it was good. It feels good. We have our own thing. Not
Yeah.
saying that the cast is not open to diversifying. Not saying that at all. But it does feel good to know that there's a bunch of black folk that put all of this together, and it's great.
Nice. You know, especially you came from a world working in like sports and entertainment where the culture where you
Mm.
Chanel Mack can't show up as Chanel Mack because it's this kind of like, you know, very Anglo-Saxon. Was there is there something more like just culturally liberating, just coming up where all of not saying every black person is the same. We're not monolithic, but just being on a thing
But
where you just come in every you got black women understand black women why your hair may not be done at this time, why you might be in some slop. You know what I mean?
no, it feels. I want to say, being a full time actress, it feels good to be in a position where you're fully understood. Everybody from the woman that's cooking your food to the woman that's doing your makeup to the man that's doing your hair, everybody is black. They understand what you're going through. They speak your language.
Mm-hmm.
That unspoken language that black girls have with each other, where it's like somebody's doing my hand, it's like, like funny story, like with the wig that I had on, we called it the Rick James wig. Because our stylist, Keisha, at first when she showed me the wig, I had to give it a look like, I mean, if y'all want me to wear it, but she's like, Chanel, calm down. Let me cut it up and let me style it. Then we're gonna put it on your head. Oh, okay, good. It was, she understood what I was saying just from my eyes. So it feels good. It's liberating. It's
Yeah.
empowering just to come on and say, and you know that you're understood. Like we all speak the same language.
Yeah. You gave Keisha that black girl, I guess.
Like, I'm grateful to be here. I'm not going to complain, but if that's what y'all want.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is a really great experience, but how you gonna have me looking on the screen?
Right. No, at first the wig looked crazy. After she did it up, she had to do some surgery on it. Then it was like, okay, here's Sherise. You know,
He was like, look, y'all put me in a bonnet if you gonna do this. I'd rather be
right. If we're gonna do that. No, but she did some magic. She put like two wigs together and made one. Keisha is like an amazing person. I don't know what she did, but that was some voodoo she did in that department.
Sweet. We have 10 minutes left. I always like to be conscious of our time and be very concise with our interviews. When it comes to the cultural relevancy and this show really pushing the culture forward, what's something you really hope that the community really buys into, rewatches it so we can get a season 2, a season 3?
I want them to understand that it's not demonic.
Yeah.
You oftentimes know how black people are with it's like, I don't understand that. It's demonic. I'm gonna stay away from it. And it's like, I want people to give this series a chance because it's more than just the magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the black girl magic. It's about the sisterhood. It's about the communication between these girls and, relationships. It's also about Sherise and Taj. So I want people that to tap in. Like if you're into drama, if you're into romance, like this is also a good show. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like different people who enjoy different genres of TV can enjoy this show and tap in.
No, definitely, and even to tap into what you said about it being about seeing this relationship with black women unfold. When you look at your character, then we have to also love that, like, okay, look, she was a central part, but then girl comes in, and then it's like, okay, now I'm not like you were the
Is that
bad.
about me anymore?
You was the sexy one. You was the one that honestly had that power. It's like you learn later on, like, girl, you can control people's minds, but you don't have to touch people after a while. You can learn. It's like we have to look at her and say, well, her world's turned upside down too. You know what I mean? Because she was the center for this. She was the one, and then it's great because it shows how friend dynamics can change, and then also
Right.
forgiveness.
Right. I want people to like get that note. Like it's about forgiveness. It's about, friends grow apart, friends grow together, and friends can forgive each other.
Right.
So that's a big thing with the series. And I want people to tap into that part.
Yeah. So, when after, the series finale happened, which I was so mad because I didn't know it was a series finale. So I was sitting here like, okay, what's going on? Because, you guys were my Thursday thing, you and Hush with Joyful Drake. So because I really like to support. I think Allblk is doing an amazing job, and I
Right,
think
aren't they?
I think that people need to really, really tap into Allblk and what's going on because it's really diversifying and it's showing from our lens. And you guys are doing even things where I don't think people even understand how you film it. Even I know I'm not a videographer, but I know there's like certain lenses and certain like gradients that they film it in, and they're very
Yeah.
particular with that one because there's a gradient
Hmm.
that kind of makes it moody. So it's like so much goes into this that we really as a community need to really tap in to keep you guys going.
Right. I agree. Yes. Tap in everyone, please.
So last two questions. One, I know you're hoping for a season two. How is the
Yeah.
feeling for you at the end of something like this? And you're just like, please, let's get this call. It's out of my hands, but I want to get that call.
I mean, it's just like that. It's out of my hands, but I want to get this call. But I like what we did. I'm very excited about what we have, what's there, what's gonna live forever. That season one is gonna live forever. And girls are gonna always be able to enjoy that. And
Mhm.
I know there's such a community, like there's a large community of Black girls that like that type of stuff. And it's like, hey girls, it's a show for you.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that I was a part of that. Like, they have characters that they can look up to that they enjoy.
nice. I love that.
But I do want a season two. We
Yeah,
need a season
exactly. But
two.
we all do. We already claiming it, right? We already
We
manifested.
claiming it.
We claiming
Amen.
it.
And it's
So
done.
definitely. So it's 2023. What's next for Chanel Mack?
Um, you know, Hopefully some more Wicked City. Ideally we have a few projects coming up, a few film projects. So we're gonna be on the big screen. And I'm trying to see if I can possibly tap into Broadway.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing some training this year as well to prepare for that because that's really the dream. The dream is really Broadway.
Really nice. I love
Yes,
that.
I'm trying to be the Black Patti LuPone. Like
I
I,
love
I
it.
I really want to be the young Viola Davis. Like Broadway is really my ultimate goal, especially
You
as
don't want to be the
As
Black
a New York
Oprah?
actor. Yeah,
You don't want to be the Black
I'm
Oprah?
about to. Can I be the black? Can I be the Black Viola?
The Black Viola.
Shout out to Carisha. But
I
yes,
love
I want to be the Black Viola.
it. What advice before we go? What advice would you want to give to another, Black woman like yourself that's in this industry, that's feeling that maybe they don't know where they're going, they don't feel like the time is happening, they just feel like maybe almost giving up because you didn't give up every step of the way, you kept persevering. What advice do you want to give them?
I'm going to give them the same advice that I gave myself, and that was get casted or get cast or die trying. I literally almost died trying to do this. Just don't give up. If it's meant for you, the lanes will open up, the doors will come, the opportunities will come. You will meet the individuals. Just always believe in yourself. Always take a shot on yourself. If nobody else believes in you, believe in yourself and never give up. As cliche as that sounds, I know it sounds corny, but you
No.
just really can't give up, and you can't give up on yourself.
Nice. Love that. Well, look, that's all the time we have for today. I enjoyed myself. This was fun. I always hope the other person had a great time as well, too.
I did. I did.
Thank you.